Sorry, but is it working? I hope so. I'm muted. Not muted. Hello, everyone. Not sure why my Zoom is not working, but apparently this video is working, but that's what counts. So cool. Gonna shut this off now, I guess. Let's hope everyone's week's going well. All right, so it looks like we've got so far the Scorpio 42. I think that, Mike, is that you there also? I honestly don't remember the usernames at this point, but I'll keep track of all the team names as they roll in here. But thank you for joining tonight, those people that are here so far. Hopefully we pick up a few more teams. I've been trying to broadcast this out a bit more. I know it's been kind of dwindling since we started, but I mean, if you don't feel like playing, you don't have to play. That's fine. It's all just for the fun of it while we're stuck at home for the most part. I did just see Joe Burns posted a takeout menu list for the Brunswick location, I think for this weekend. So it sounds like they're getting ready to open up, which is exciting. So if you're around and feel like getting some food from Burns in Brunswick, they will be open for takeout. So that's great to hear as we slowly begin this ramp up of businesses reopening. Also, let me see. I'm going to check the how much we've raised so far. I know last time I checked, which was about a week ago, we had $1,200 raised for the pub, and we're still about there. We're a little more than 1,200 right now. So we have that money saved right now to give to the staff that is either furloughed or working extra hard right now to provide meals for first responders and essential workers who are currently still out there right now. So there's a link in the description below, as I often point out, if you feel like making a small donation tonight for the staff and crew at the Bath and Brunswick location of Burns Irish Pub. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. I'm still trying to get in touch with Maggie to give her a check because right now all the money gets deferred into my bank account, and then Maggie asked that it goes to my bank and then I give it to her. So I've just been sitting on it, and I've not been able to reach out to her in like 3 weeks. So if anybody can ping her and be like, hey, Will has money for you, please let her know, because I really want to give her the money so she can give that to the staff, because I'm sure they'd really appreciate that right now. In the meantime, we're just going to keep doing trivia here every week and raising money for the crew. And yeah, Ron's behind me. He always likes to hide directly behind me, but that's how he is, I guess. All right. Yeah, so we still got about 10 minutes. I jumped on early to make sure that my webcam was working, and it is. So here I am. I don't know. I guess if people want to share anything in the live chat about what they're doing currently in the middle of the lockdown or whatever you want to call this situation we're living in right now. Myself, I'm still going to work mostly. I am still working from home half the time and working in my lab half the time, and making bread and cheese and lots of other homemade things here while I have extra time. So, and of course beer, always making extra beer, and currently drinking. This is my well, that's Atlantic Brewing, but still the key lime goza that I made for Cinco de Mayo, which was a couple weeks back, last time I hosted. Still working my way through that. And hopefully everyone else has a tasty beverage that they can enjoy tonight while we play trivia, whether that be beer, wine, or if you don't imbibe, maybe a soda or lemonade or something nice. It's been beautiful outside. So hopefully people have been able to get outside and just like sit and relax and enjoy some nice weather and have a tasty beverage outside. I almost did trivia sitting on my deck because it's still sunlight until like 8:30 now, which is nice. I have not. I decided not to do that just because Ron has been really annoying lately as far as trying to go outside. I bought him a harness so I can take him like on the deck and stuff, but now he's just spoiled because he'll just like sit at the door and howl and whatever to go outside, and then immediately try to wrestle loose of the harness once he's outside. So it's frustrating because I just like to sit out on my deck and enjoy my backyard and read a book or something. And he just wants to go kill things, like all the wildlife in the forest behind my house. He just wants to go kill everything. So we're gonna stay inside for a while here, so he doesn't do that. So what else we got? All right. Titanic Swim Club is here. It's great to see. Karen, I do have a harness for Ron, but he's been proving very, very good at breaking out of it. Like literally every time I take him outside, if I try to keep him like in one spot, like I'll put the harness or the end of the leash under like a table leg, so he just like kind of sits in that one spot and doesn't go any further. He'll realize he has a limit and then just wriggle around until he breaks out of the harness. So it's really not super nice, except for just like gently walking him. But I don't know. I'll keep figuring that out. I don't want to let him go too far. My lawn is full of ticks. So, all right. And we have Team Cool is here as well. Excellent. So I think now I've already lost count. We have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams here. Suppose I probably turn off Trailer Park Boys. All right. All right, we have Cindy as well with Prophets of Zoom. So that's 6 teams at least so far. So glad we're getting some more people building up. The more the merrier. And looking forward to when we get to do this in person again, because it's quite a bit different. Like it works pretty well, whether it's me or Andy hosting from our respective homes, without too much, not difficulty, but just any issues that might arise from just doing this virtually, or anyone who just does not have ready computer access or internet access to be able to watch streams like this. And then, I mean, the heckling too is super important. Like when Alan's hosting, like giving him all kinds of shit about Tom Brady or Rhode Island or whatever, or referencing 42 in the booth, which I could do right now, but like it wouldn't really make sense. Or the beer specials tonight, which, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. A couple of weeks ago, I said I was going to highlight some main beers for the beer specials for the night. So actually, the only one I currently have is this beer is called Doppelganger from Geary's. It's a Doppelbock, which, if you're familiar at all with any German styles, Bock is a particularly strong style of a normally dark lager, and a Doppelbock is a stronger version even of that. So it's pretty strong. This is made by Geary's down in Portland, and I always like to give them some support just because they're kind of a ways from that nice little cluster in Industrial Way where Allagash and Foundation and like 5 other breweries are. And it seems like no one's ever there, but it's such a nice brewery. They were actually the first craft brewery in Maine, and they have a nice little tap room. They do tours when we're not having a pandemic. So once this is all open, or even now if you're in the area and you want to do a takeout order, I think they're taking takeout orders. Geary's makes excellent beer. Some of it I think you can even find in stores. So that's our beer special of the night is Geary's Doppelbock. So I'm going to save that for a little bit, but hopefully you're finding some excellent Maine-made beverages to take part in tonight. I guess there's also Coors Light as always, but I'm not drinking Coors Light. I have enough decent beer to drink that's not Coors Light right now. And so Karen, I know Maggie, I haven't seen anything about Maggie and Bath reopening yet, but they will have nachos this weekend at the Brunswick location. So you can get your nacho fix there. It's not quite the same as the one in Bath, but I'm sure it's very similar because they share ingredients, presumably. This is the most I've talked in like 2 weeks. So this trivia is pretty much the only reason why I speak anymore. I mostly spend my days inside. Wow, thanks, Andy. All right, just another minute or so, and we can go ahead and get started. If you are just joining us, you probably have seen the answer sheets available on the Facebook event. So the way that trivia has worked, for anyone that's new, we are splitting the answer sheets, or there's 2 rounds of the trivia tonight. So each round has its own answer sheet, which there's a link to on the Facebook event. And then I think I also put them in the event description of this video here. So you can click on those. Only one person from each team needs to send in a response for your team, just so it's not crowded with different answers. And then, yeah, so it will work more or less the same that our normal trivia will do, where you would, we have each round is 3 categories, and each category has 6 questions apiece. So we'll go through each category in the first half, fill in the answers on the answer sheet, and then once you've decided that's your final answers, go ahead and click the submit button. If at any time you want to go back and forth before you submit, you can do that. Just, I think there's a back and a next button on there, so you can go back and forth. And we'll do the same thing in round 2. In between the rounds, I'm going to take about a 10-minute break so I can count up the scores and see where we are at the halfway point. Give people time to get more drinks, take a smoke if you want. I'm probably going to need to use the bathroom because I've been drinking all day. Yeah, and so otherwise, other rules going on here. Please don't shout out answers into the live chat. It's not as hard, or not as easy to do as it is, in person. But just don't put any answers in the live chat. Use the honor system here where I can't see you, so I can't see if you're looking up answers, but please don't look up answers. Just do this on, do this on your own knowledge so that we're all on a decent playing field here. And if you are, I guess we don't have to really worry about the 6 or more people on a team because we don't have prizes anyway. I mean, I guess if you want, 100% off at Mad Scientist Brewing Company for the first person that gets here who wins. Good luck with that anytime soon. I think that's all the rules. Oh yeah, so if you if any of the answers that you put down you think are correct, but I said it was not correct, please just send me a message in the live chat or on Facebook Messenger, and I can look it over to see your answer in the argument. It's very possible I'm wrong, but highly unlikely because I'm pretty smart. But I'm willing to take a look at the answers anyway to see if we need to give out extra points or points where I did not assign points. So I think that covers everything. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the live chat or just like throw shade in the live chat at other teams. I think that's an expression for the youngsters. I don't know. I'm old. So all right. So we can go ahead and get started then. Here with you open up the first answer sheet. We're going to get started with round one, category number one, which tonight is going to be literature. Round one is literature. Shut up, Alan. Question number one for literature. In which Shakespearean play does the character Polonius advise his son, neither a borrower nor a lender be? In which Shakespearean play does the character Polonius advise his son, neither a borrower nor a lender be? Suppose I can get Ron more in the shot there. That way. No, other way. There we go. Good enough. All right, question number two. What novel ends with the following line? It is a far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. What novel ends with the following line? It is a far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. Oh, geez. Mike, speaking of Leroy Jenkins, I think I just saw this on Reddit a couple of days ago. That video, I think, just turned either 15 or 20 years old, which hurts my soul how old that is. Oh. But at least he has chicken. All right. Question number three. In George Orwell's Animal Farm, what kind of animal is the character Boxer? In George Orwell's Animal Farm, what kind of animal is the character Boxer? As in his name is Boxer. All right, question number four. The character Raskolnikov is a student who commits a cold-blooded murder, which sets in motion the plot of which novel by Fyodor Dostoevsky? The character Raskolnikov is a student who commits a cold-blooded murder, which sets in motion the plot of which novel by Fyodor Dostoevsky? Doing my best with the Russian pronunciation here. All right, question number 5. This is a multiple choice question, and hopefully I set it up correctly on your answer sheet that this should be a multiple choice. So the question is, what author wrote his last novel in crayon? Is it A, Bram Stoker, B, James Joyce, C, Kurt Vonnegut, or D, Mark Twain? What author wrote his last novel in crayon? Is it A, Bram Stoker, B, James Joyce, C, Kurt Vonnegut, or D, Mark Twain? All right, and the last question for category number 1. What poet wrote the following lines in his poem? Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. What poet wrote the following lines in his poem? Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. All right, and that's the end of category number 1. If any team would like any questions from that category repeated, feel free to write them in the live chat right now or Facebook if you need to, and I will go ahead and repeat any questions. All right, I'm not seeing any requests for a repeat. If at any point you need to go back to any of the categories, categories from this round before we get to the last one, we can do that. Just make a note in the chat and I can go back and repeat any question. So right now we'll go on to category number 2. This category is called word roots. So as you'll see, all your options for answers here are either Latin or Greek. So I'm going to describe some word roots that come from either the language Latin or Greek. I want you to tell me which language that word root comes from. I didn't learn this when I was in school, so hopefully the older crowd might have an idea on any of these. All right, so question number 1 for word roots. It's almost as hard to say as Irish wristwatch. Ugh. Question number 1. The root anim, as in animal, meaning life or spirit. Does that come from Latin or Greek? The root anim, as in animal, meaning life or spirit. Is that Latin or Greek? This room should turn off. Oh, yeah, Mike, you're right about that. I will see if I can go fix that right now. I think that's Facebook's default, and I just kind of whiz by it when I do it, so should be able to fix that in a second here. What is that? All right, so I have fixed that. So now, if anyone should be able to post on Facebook. Sorry, the Facebook event. Sorry about that. All right, question number 2 for word roots. The root mono, as in monogram, meaning one, single, or alone. Is that Latin or Greek origin? The root mono, as in monogram, meaning one, single, or alone. Is that Latin or Greek? All right, let's tap into this. What did I call? What is that thing? Beer special. Yeah, tap into this beer special tonight. The doppelganger. Let's see if I can make it through to round 3, because this is 8%. And I've had this before, so I know what it's going to do. And it is a nice beer. So cheers to all of you. Oof, oh boy. All right, question number 3. The root hemi, as in hemisphere, meaning half or partial. Is that Latin or Greek origin? The root hemi, as in hemisphere, meaning half or partial. Is that Latin or Greek origin? Ryan, you picked a perfect time to sleep, you know? You're active all day, and now we're on camera. Mm-hmm. All right, question number 4. The root aud, A-U-D, as in audio or auditorium, meaning to hear. Is that Latin or Greek origin? The root aud, A-U-D, as in audio or auditorium, meaning to hear. Is that Latin or Greek origin? Okay, no problem, Alan. And or Margaret, I'm assuming Alan is typing, but I don't want to make assumptions because you know what happens when you make assumptions. In my case, everyone dies. So I try not to make assumptions. All right, question number 5. The root quad, as in quadrant, meaning 4. Is that Latin or Greek origin? The root quad, as in quadrant, meaning 4. The number 4. Is that Latin or Greek origin? Yeah, he does that. He'll just he'll be sleeping and just not move for like 20 minutes and then just like burst into action and just start licking himself for like 4 seconds and then go back to sleep. It's the weirdest damn thing. But I don't know, whatever. The life of a cat, I guess. All right, and number 6 for word roots. The root tox, T-O-X, as in toxic, meaning poison. Is that Latin or Greek root? Or origin, I've been saying this whole time. The root tox, as in toxic, meaning poison. Is that Latin or Greek origin? Oh, new post from Burns Pub. Looks like Bath is reopening next week, or gearing up to reopen next week. So that's excellent news to hear. I'm happy to go in and buy some. I don't know, whatever. Probably Guinness bread. Honestly, I love the Guinness bread. It's so good. Repeat questions 1 and 2. Can do that. So question number 1 for word roots. The root anim, A-N-I-M, as in animal, meaning life or spirit. And number 2, the root mono, as in monogram, meaning one, single, or alone. Other words to describe your host for the evening. I don't mind doing the self-burn. I whatever, I deserve it. Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. All right. That's it for category number 2. If anyone wants any other questions repeated, please feel free to do so, or do so. Ask for them until we move on, or not until, at any point before we submit, I guess. No, Andy, I don't have mono. All right. couple more seconds here, and then we can move on to category 3. And he probably has mono. At least he's kissing somebody. Oh, jeez. Oh, repeating question number 6 as well. Question number 6 for word roots. The root tox, T-O-X, as in toxic or toxicology, I guess, meaning poison. Is that a Latin root or a Greek, or Latin origin or Greek origin? All right. So if you have any other ones you will need to repeat, feel free to write them in the chat, but we're going to go ahead and move on now. So category number 3. This category is called old news. Old news. So all of the events that happened in this category are things that happened this week, but not this year. So like many years ago, probably more than 2 years ago, but many years ago in most of these cases. But all of them happened within this week of May that we're in currently. All right, so question number 1 for old news. 40 years ago yesterday, the eruption of this volcano in southern Washington state was the most significant to occur in the lower 48 states of the US since 1915. "40 years ago yesterday, the eruption of this volcano in southern Washington state was the most significant to occur in the lower 48 states since 1915. Question number 2. In 1900, author L. Frank Baum first published this now famous children's novel. In 1900, author L. Frank Baum, B-A-U-M, first published this now famous children's novel. All right, question number 3. In 1962, this president's birthday was celebrated at Madison Square Garden, with the highlight being Marilyn Monroe's now famous rendition of Happy Birthday to the President. In 1962, This president's birthday was celebrated at Madison Square Garden, with the highlight being Marilyn Monroe's now famous rendition of Happy Birthday to the President. For number 2, the year was 1900, 1900. 19-aught, I guess. I don't know. Turn of the century. All right, question number 4. In 1989, this comedian, who was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live, passed away from ovarian cancer. In 1989, this comedian, who was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live, passed away from ovarian cancer. I'll give you a hint. It was not Chevy Chase. All right, question number 5. In 1849, this future U.S. president was issued a patent, making him the only U.S. president to ever hold a patent, like an invention. Who is the president? In 1849, this future U.S. president was issued a patent, making him the only U.S. president ever to hold a patent. I really got to enunciate on these. And question number 6. In 1954, the Supreme Court of the U.S. handed down its unanimous ruling on this case, which outlawed segregation in public schools. So the case, I mean, the name of the case is pretty famous, so I'm looking for the name, as people mostly know it, of the case. In 1954, the Supreme Court handed down its unanimous ruling on this case, which outlawed segregation in public schools. All right, and that is the end of round 1. So if any team would like any questions repeated from any category in the first round, please let me know in the chat. I can repeat those. Otherwise, please take about another minute or so to talk over with your team any answers you aren't sure about yet, and then go ahead and click the submit button at the bottom of page 3. And once we get all of our responses in, we've got 3 already. Once we get them all in, we will go ahead and, I'm going to take a little bit of time to look through the answers and score everything up. So at this point, I guess we'll go ahead and take the 10-minute break, unless any teams want any questions repeated. I'll wait a bit for that. Otherwise, we'll take a quick break here, and then I'll score these up, and then we'll see where we're at the start of the second half. I'll be right back. You can enjoy Ron sleeping. Hold on. Oh, you're being cute. All right. All right, we got 6 answers in. I think we have maybe one more waiting. It's okay. I can go ahead and start grading these, but yeah. So we'll take about a 10-minute break. We'll reconvene at 7:45 here. Ron showed up in person. Hi, Ron. Ron has not been drinking all day. Ron has been annoying me all day while I tried to work from home. Hi. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Want to? No, not for you. Mm-hmm. So I think I watched Captain Marvel, Mike, but surprise, I was kind of drunk and I don't remember any of it, and I might have fallen asleep. So I don't know what a Flurkin is, but I'm assuming it's some sort of like I don't know, robot, like a furry robot, perhaps. I don't know. I'm taking a stab in the dark here. Also, Ron is just out of shot, so I know you're all here for him, so he's there. Yeah. I mean, I just watched it for Brie Larson, but yeah, I heard it was a good movie. Poof. Yep. Yep. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the pug from Men in Black, but a cat version, and also no tentacles and nothing at all. Like, but it's just like it looks like an animal we're familiar with. Yeah, I'll take the Crouch away. I agree. Yeah. At least I was wearing pants, Mike. I was considerate for the internet crowd here. Yep. All right. Oh yeah, I probably should grade these answer sheets, huh? I think we got all the answers in here, so I'll get to work on that. Oh shoot, I've been on the whole time. I didn't realize. I thought I was on mute. Hopefully I haven't said anything out loud. Any answers or anything. Should be good. Another couple of minutes here, and we'll go ahead and start the second round. Ron, you yawn. Yep, you just do that. I guess I can do the answers. I do have them. I don't know. I don't remember when's the appropriate time to do them because lately we haven't been reading the answers. Oh no, we have reading. We just haven't done this course. Okay, answers. All right, so answers for category or round number 1. Category 1, literature. In which Shakespearean play does the character Polonius advise his son, neither a borrower nor a lender be? That is Hamlet. I actually played Polonius in my high school's version of Hamlet. Number 2, what novel ends with the following line? It is a far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. That is A Tale of Two Cities. Question number 3, in George Orwell's Animal Farm, what kind of animal is the character Boxer? Boxer is a horse. Number 4, the character Raskolnikov is a student who commits a cold-blooded murder, which sets in motion the plot of which novel by Fyodor Dostoevsky? That is Crime and Punishment. Question number 5, what author wrote his last novel in crayon? That's B, James Joyce. And apparently he did that because his eyesight was failing, and that was the only thing he could use to actually see what he was writing. And number 6, what poet wrote the following lines in his poem? 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That is Robert Frost. Category 2, word roots. Number 1, the root anim as an animal. That is Latin. Number 2, the root mono as in monogram, meaning one, single, or alone, is Greek. That's a Greek origin. Number 3, the root hemi as in hemisphere, meaning half or partial. That is Greek. Number 4, the root aud as in audio and auditorium, meaning to hear. That is Latin. Number 5, the root quad as in quadrant, meaning 4. That is Latin. Number 6, the root tox as in toxic or toxicology, meaning poison. That is also Latin. All right, and category 3, old news. 40 years ago yesterday, the eruption of this volcano in southern Washington was the most significant to occur in the lower 48 states since 1915. That's Mount St. Helens. Number 2, in 1900, author L. Frank Baum first published this now famous children's novel. That was The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And I took Wizard of Oz, but the actual book's title says The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. For your knowledge. Number 3, in 1962, this president's birthday was celebrated at Madison Square Garden, with the highlight being Marilyn Monroe's now famous rendition of Happy Birthday to Mr. President, to Mr. President, to the President. That's JFK, John F. Kennedy. Number 4, in 1989, this comedian who was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live passed away from ovarian cancer. That was Gilda Radner. Number 5, in 1849, this future U.S. president was issued a patent, making him the only U.S. president ever to hold a patent. That was Abraham Lincoln. And number 6, in 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court handed down its unanimous ruling on this case, which outlawed segregation in public schools. And that was Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, or I guess more generally known, Brown versus Board of Education. All right, just to run through the scores real quick, just in the order I've received them here. We have Cover Loaded with 14 points. We have 42 with 18 points. Prophets of Zoom also with 18 points. Ire of the Scorpio with 13 points. Quiz in My Pants with 15 points. Team Cool with 9 points. Titanic Swim Club with 11 points. And The Man in the White Castle with 18 points. So still a pretty close game. We have a tied for tied for first right now with 3 teams. So we'll see if we can turn that around in the second half here. All right. Make sure I got all these in order here. All right, great. So the first category, aka category number 4 for the second round, this is 5th grade knowledge. So you can see if you are smarter than a 5th grader, because I always fall back to that when I need to. All right, 5th grade knowledge is the category. Question number 1 for 5th grade knowledge. The Earth, that is the planet we live on, has 4 layers. What is the name of its thinnest layer? The Earth has 4 layers. What is the name of the thinnest layer? Question number 2. What is the minimum age that you have to be elected as the United States president? What is the minimum age for you that you have to be elected as the United States president? Question number 3. Which American is credited as the inventor of bifocal glasses? Which American is credited as the inventor of bifocal glasses? Just a bit more. This is perfectly balanced. He literally sleeps all day. All right, question number 4. The Tropic of Capricorn lies in what hemisphere? The Tropic of Capricorn lies in what hemisphere? Oh, Karen, Phoebe is pretty cozy with me, so I don't know. Maybe she just got tired of the plastic rod thing that you do. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Yep. I think Ron's also part dog, so that has something to do with it. No, it's not. All right. Question number 5. This is a true or false. So, true or false? A cello is larger than a violin. Is that true or false? True or false? A cello is larger than a violin. Yeah, Ron still does not understand sit. I've tried and it doesn't work. All right, question number 6 for 5th grade knowledge, not 1st grade. How many sides does a rhombus have? So there is a shape called a rhombus. How many sides does a rhombus have? All right, does any team want any questions repeated from this category? All right, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to move on now to category number 5. I call this category just desserts, which is what I called it, I think, 2 or 3 years ago when I first asked this, and I couldn't think of another category, so I just copied and pasted from the last time I did this. So this category is about desserts. So question number 1 for category 5. This is a multiple choice question. Chocolate chip cookies were invented in which U.S. state? Was that A, Delaware, B, Virginia, or oh shoot, I only I apparently I deleted a state. All right, C, Oregon, or D, Massachusetts. Chocolate chip cookies were invented in which U.S. state? So A, Delaware. Oh, I see what it is here. B, Virginia. C, Oregon. Or D, Massachusetts. All right, question 2. Jell-O brand dessert or gelatin has had several flavors discontinued over the course of its existence. Which of these flavors was never used for Jell-O's gelatin product? Was it A, celery, B, cola, C, tomato, or D, mixed vegetable? Jell-O brand gelatin has had several flavors discontinued over the course of its existence. Which one of these flavors was never used for its gelatin product? Was it A, celery, B, cola, C, tomato, or D, mixed vegetable? Question number 3. What kind of dessert is a Hoodsie cup? What kind of dessert is a Hoodsie cup? So this is fairly generic. Hoodsie cup, HOODSIE, and then cup, CUP. So if you've grown up in Maine as I did, you've probably had many of these as a child. They are Hoodsie cups. I don't know if they still make them, but I hope they do, so that the next generation can enjoy this beautiful, beautiful thing. Is it in Rhode Island too? I didn't notice that. I've only grown up in Maine, so I'm used to it from here, but I assume that Hood is probably in other states as well. Question number 4. Bananas Foster is a popular dessert that originated in which major which major southern U.S. city? Bananas Foster is a popular dessert that originated in which major southern U.S. city? All right, question number 5. The first Dairy Queen restaurant opened in 1940 in Joliet, Illinois. Within 5 years, when did Dairy Queen begin serving their signature Blizzard item? So I'm looking for the year that Dairy Queen started to serve the Blizzard, plus or minus 5 years from the actual date. The first Dairy Queen opened in 1940 in Joliet, Illinois. When did Dairy Queen begin serving their signature Blizzard item? Within 5 years of the date. All right, and question number 6. In the video game Portal and its sequel, what dessert item does the game's villain offer to tempt the player with in order to lure the player to their likely death? Oh, Byron. In the video game Portal and its sequel, Portal 2, what dessert item does the game's villain offer to tempt the player with in order to lure the player to their likely death? All right, would any team like any questions repeated from category number 5? All right, I'm seeing none, so we'll go ahead and move on to category number 6, which is the last category of the evening. It's also a visual category. This category is called World Landmarks. So if you scroll down on your answer sheet, you should see for each question you have a picture of a landmark from someplace in the world. I know what all those landmarks are. I don't care what they are. I want you to tell me what city and country those landmarks are located in. So you can write the landmark itself if you want to. Not all these are specifically landmarks either. But I want to know, if you saw that thing, what city and country you'd be located within. So I'm going to give probably until 8:15 here, or rather, I guess I should say quarter past the hour, because we have other teams from not East Coast. Quarter past the hour. Talk about it with your teams, figure out what the landmarks are and what city and country they are located within. Write those down, and then that will be the last category of the evening. So if you need any questions while you're working that out, if you need any questions repeated from any category in the second round, feel free to post those in the live chat and I can answer those. Otherwise, I will await the 8 teams' responses, and then I can add those up and see who our winner is tonight, or if we have to do a tiebreaker, which I always hope for. I love doing the tiebreaker rounds. Cool. Be right back. Mm. All right, probably about another minute to go here. So if any team needs more time or would like any questions from the second round repeated, please let me know in the chat. Let's see, we have three teams have called in of the 8 that we have. So please take another minute or so to finalize your answers, and we'll go ahead and get those sent in so I can score them up, and we'll see who our winner is tonight. All right, still waiting on 2 more teams here. Please take maybe 30 more seconds or so. Finalize your answers. Go ahead and score these up and see who our winner is for the evening. Let it be known to everyone that Karen's an idiot and Alex was right. All right, cool. We got all the answers in. So just give me a minute here and I'll tabulate the answers and we will see who our winner is tonight. Well, I guess I can read the answers first in case people have disputes. So now the world knows. All right, so category 4, first grade knowledge. Question number 1. The Earth has 4 layers. What is the name of the thinnest layer? That is the layer we are standing on currently. That is the crust. My wife. Number 2, what is the minimum age for a U.S. president as defined by the Constitution? That is 35 years old. So maybe by next election, I could be president. We'll see. Number 3, which American is credited as the inventor of bifocal glasses? That was Benjamin Franklin. Number 4, the Tropic of Capricorn lies in what hemisphere? That is the southern hemisphere. And the Tropic of Cancer is in the northern hemisphere. I'm not sure why those are a thing, but they are. Number 5, true or false? A cello is larger than a violin. That is true. And question number 6, how many sides does a rhombus have? It has 4 sides. So a rhombus is a shape that has 4 sides, but it has, or each parallel side is, well, no, it's parallelogram. I don't exactly remember. They're not the same. It has 4 sides. Disregard. I'm a chemist. Moving on. Category number 5, just desserts. Question number 1. Chocolate chip cookies were invented in which U.S. state? That was D, Massachusetts, at the Toll House Inn, hence Toll House cookies. Question number 2. Jell-O brand gelatin has had several flavors discontinued over the course of its existence. Which of these flavors was never used for its gelatin product? Of those 4 really gross flavors, number C, tomato, was never an option. So you could have any of those other ones as Jell-O, because apparently in the 50s and 60s, people did weird stuff with Jell-O, but here we are. Number 3, what kind of dessert is a Hoodsie cup? That is an ice cream. Number 3, shut up. All right, yeah, question, it's ice cream. So if you were in New England growing up, it's just this little cup with chocolate and vanilla kind of swirled together, but not entirely. And traditionally served with a little like wooden sliver that you would like scoop it in your mouth with. It's delicious. You have to be there. All right, question number 4. Bananas Foster is a popular dessert that originated in which major southern U.S. city? That was New Orleans. New Orleans. It's causing trouble. Stop. Question number 5. The first Dairy Queen opened in 1940 in Joliet, Illinois. What year did Dairy Queen begin serving their signature Blizzard item? Within 5 years? That was 1985. So if you put any year between 1980 and 1990, you can mark that as correct. And question number 6. In the video game Portal and its sequel, Portal 2, what dessert item does the game's antagonist tempt the player with in order to lure the player to their likely death? She tempts them with cake, which of course is a lie. All right, and category 6, world landmarks. So again, here I was looking for the city and the country, not necessarily what the thing was. So question number 1, that row of colorful houses is in Copenhagen, Denmark. Number 2, that pyramid is, and that building is the shape outside of the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. Number 3, that building is the Chateau de Frontenac, which is currently a hotel in Quebec City, Canada. Number 4, that statue is Christ the Redeemer at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Number 4, that tower, which looks a lot like the Eiffel Tower, is the Tokyo Tower in Tokyo, Japan. And question number 6, that building, which I discovered looks a lot like Notre Dame Cathedral, is Westminster Abbey in London, England. Oh, shoot. So just give me a minute here to go over the answers, and I will tell you who won tonight. All right. Sorry for the delay. It took me a while to count out all the results. So let's see. We do have a clear winner tonight, which is too bad because I had a tiebreaker. So let's see. First, second. So in third place tonight we have Prophets of Zoom with 33 points. Very close game tonight. In second place we have the Man in the White Castle with 34 points. And with 35 points, our winners tonight by 1, we have Team 42. So congratulations to Team 42. Maria wants to know what the tiebreaker was. I might as well tell you. So the tiebreaker tonight would have been, where'd it go? Was how many megatons of thermal energy were released during the eruption of Mount St. Helens? And as a hint, that was 1,600 times more than the bomb at Hiroshima. So the answer to that was 24 megatons, which is a shit ton of energy. And it blew up a lot. So anyway, that's the end. So thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. Once again, if anyone would like to donate to our fundraiser tonight, there's a link in the description below, also on the Facebook page, to help raise money for Burns Irish Pub in both Bath and Brunswick, for all of its servers and all the people who have been laid off during this time. So thanks for everyone for coming, and I hope you had a good time. We'll be here again next week. Probably Andy, but if not me, or if anyone else would like to host, let me know, and we can arrange another host. It's just been me and Andy for the last 2 months, but we're always welcome to have other people come in here. So let's see if I can get this thing working here. It is time to bid you one and all goodbye. Farewell. Farewell. Adieu. Farewell. One. I don't remember all the words. I'm dying until we meet again. Okay, whatever. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a great night.